You. Not breathing.
And how you gonna do that?
I'm doing it.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 action thriller Fast Charlie. The film is directed by Philip Noyce and it stars Pierce Brosnan, Marina Baccarin and James Caan. Now the film focuses on Pierce Brosnan's character Charlie Swift, who is an aging mob enforcer, and for the past 30 plus years he has been loyal to James Caan's Stan Mullen, who is the local mob boss down south in Biloxi. So Stan now, James Caan's character Stan, is getting very, very old. He's struggling with his health, and Charlie has taken it upon himself to look after him and to look after his business. However, there is a new guy on the block, a new mob boss that wants to take over. So he approves a hit on Stan and the whole of his crew, including Charlie, which then sends Charlie on a mission of revenge to take out those that have taken out his crew and his boss. He ends up teaming up with Marina Baccarin's character Marcy, who has got some inside information that is invaluable to him, and they end up teaming up together. Right, what are my thoughts on Fast Charlie? Well, I'll be really honest here. I went into this film expecting nothing. I'd not heard of this film. There'd been no buzz about it, and I suspect it's one of those films that'll just go under everybody's radar and nobody will really watch it. It might turn up on streaming, in a couple of months' time, and it might hopefully maybe find an audience. But I suspect it's going to be one of those films that just kind of disappears into the ether. Not many people are going to watch, and that is a real shame, because I have to say I really quite enjoyed this film. It was infinitely better than I was expecting it to be. Not that I was expecting it to be terrible or anything like that. I just didn't really know what to expect. I'd never heard of it or anything like that. And the start of the film isn't what I would describe as like a promising start. It's quite a slow start. You're not sure if this Charlie character played by Pierce Brosnan, if he's competent, if he's a bit like a bit of a Del Boy, and everybody in the UK will know who I mean by that. But once the film kind of settles down, once it gets past the first 20 minutes or so, and the real story evolves, and you see this other side of Charlie, this person you kind of used to be, this mob enforcer, determined to get vengeance on those that have crossed his family and his boss, is very good. Very, very good indeed, because he's ruthless, this Charlie. He's clever, he's smart, he's been around a long time, he knows how to think one step ahead of many of the others that are after him. And it works really well as like a revenge thriller, like a crime-stroke revenge thriller. And while I'm not really convinced that the film needed Marina Baccarin's character Marcia, or Marcy, I thought the film was better off for her being in it, because she kind of offered another layer to the film. It allowed Charlie to show his softer side and his artistic side, because he's interested in Italy, loves Italy, wants to move to Italy, he's a great cook and all this kind of stuff. So it's quite sophisticated in many ways. And this Marcy character, while her motivations for teaming up with Pierce Brosnan don't necessarily make a great deal of sense, she does offer a lot, I would suggest, to the film, and they do have some really, really good chemistry between them, Pierce Brosnan and Marina Baccarin. Now, the film, I think, could have done a much better job of fleshing out the villain of the piece. We don't really, other than the old-fashioned, this mob family's been around for too long, I'm the new kid on the block, I'm going to take over motivations. You don't really get much else in the way of reasoning for doing what he's doing. And then there's some blackmailing evidence out there that Pierce Brosnan wants to get his hands on so that he can prove to the powers that be that authorize these hits, you know, the top mob family, so he can prove to them, so they can approve his hit on this new kind boss, because everything's got to be approved, sort of thing. So he's trying to track down this evidence, and this other mob boss is trying desperately to make sure he never finds this evidence, which is kind of where this Marcy character comes in, because her ex kind of was the person that has hidden this evidence. It sounds quite convoluted, but in actual fact, when you watch the film, it's actually it's a fairly simple film to follow. The plot isn't overly complex. I didn't think so anyway. It was fairly easy to follow. And Pierce Brosnan is very, very charming in the film. And he's still got it, you know what I mean? That way he carries himself ever since the Bond days. He can do these kind of suave, sophisticated killers, really, with his eyes shut. And he does it very, very well in this film. And you know, he's obviously at a certain age now, but he doesn't feel like it in this film. I think he does a remarkable job here, Pierce Brosnan. I wasn't overly convinced by his American accent, and it's like a deep South American accent, but you kind of get used to it as the film goes on. I'm not used to hearing him do like an American accent, but it doesn't detract from the film or anything like that, I don't think. And the film has some pretty decent action set pieces as well within it, and some quite thrilling moments in it as well, you know, when you do genuinely feel, I mean, they don't present Pierce Brosnan as like this unstoppable force or anything. He is, you know, vulnerable at times. There are people after him who are as dangerous, if not more dangerous than him, and there are many, many situations in the film where his life is genuinely at risk, as is this Marcy character. So the film does a good job of kind of leaving it nicely balanced, so that, you know, you never really feel like he is going to get out of this in one piece. And I like the fact that you're not sure where this is going to go at the end. You know, is he going to get the happy ending you could argue deserves, or is it all going to go south? And it does keep you guessing, obviously, right till the end. So I was quite pleased and satisfied with this film. It's a nice, easy watch. It's nicely made. It's really lovely to see James Caan on screen, and I believe this was his last role before he sadly passed. So yeah, I think you should check this one out. If it sounds interesting, anything of what I've said, if you're a fan of Pierce Brosnan, fan of films like this, I don't think you'll be disappointed if you do decide to check this one out. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. So thank you very much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.